Good morning. This is Sharon from the House of Prayer, bringing to you a prophecy that was given to Bertha Dudde entitled The Working of the Spirit Exceeds a Scholar's Knowledge. Anyone who truthfully wants to serve me must also endorse the truth to his fellow human beings, for he receives it through the voice of the Spirit. This is a privilege he cannot value enough, since he is thereby in possession of the pure truth, when no one can take away from him. And to know the truth means to be so illuminated that the darkness is unable to harm him. What can be more pleasing on earth than to partake in the light, to be illuminated by the light of mercy, which it bestows bright by illustration upon a person, and it is his task to share this with fellow human beings, to kindle a bright light in them as well, and also to dispel darkness they are burdened with. Yet you will also encounter resistance all over the place. For only those people who request the truth from me themselves are willing to accept it, whom I can therefore approach and speak through you, and I know their hearts. I know they yearn for the truth and come to meet all those who will not reject you. Nevertheless, only a few will possess the full truth, for spiritual arrogance are far too obvious in the world. The kind of education that you experience will only rarely find credence. Instead, people think they will discover the mysteries through study, and thus they will be granted more credence. And the problem all over the world consists of the fact that only those who have far less knowledge than you fail to educate their fellow humans beings, because they don't draw the knowledge from the source. The purest form of truth can only come from me myself, and neither have I required the study of spiritual issue. Everything concerning your spiritual life comes under my jurisdiction, and I distribute the pure truth to those who appeal to me myself and their desire to receive it, and they will be taught correctly, and their knowledge will far surpass that of a scholar. However, if I instruct the bearer of truth to use his spiritual knowledge and educate his fellow human beings, then I will also make sure that you will meet those who are intended to instruct, and you will find willing listeners in them. Consequently, your mission is of the greatest importance, and you must not allow yourself to be held back by those who are unappointed, because I consider those who are unappointed, who do not believe in your task, to oppose such obvious proof of my working, of their unbelief, but who assume a teaching task for themselves, which they are not entitled to do as long as they have not received the truth from me, myself, which also necessitates a life of love. Only then will they also become enlightened. But in that case, they will no longer oppose you. They will only ever find additional information which clarifies their knowledge and will accept what you offer to them, for they will recognize the divine origin to be delighted with an explanation of where they hitherto, but as are still unable to see clearly, they will be grateful that they too can refresh themselves at the source of the truth, that they too may draw from the living water, and that the source has opened itself for them. Amen. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6. And he was qualified us as ministers of a new covenant, not of a letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 10 through 12. But God has revealed them to us through his Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. For what man knows the things of a man, except the spirit of the man, which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might know the things that have been freely given to us by God.